This week, a hot new bombshell.
After bombshell after bombshell. A lot of stories were tracking, including an absolute bombshell.
There was a major new bombshell.
Unbelievable.
Bombshell conversation.
Reality Bombshell.
Hello, welcome to Reality Bombshell, the comedy podcast that investigates the not true crimes of your guiltiest pleasures and examines reality TV through a true crime lens. I'm Ariel, my pronouns are she, her, and I am your resident reality TV historian.
I'm Ben, my pronouns are he, him. I'm the skeptic turned co-conspirator.
My name's Kelson, my pronouns are they, them, and I'm a Kirby enthusiast.
Together, we connect clues, follow the drama, and unpack all things reality TV, one case at a time.
All right. I'm excited, you guys.
I'm excited.
This is
Are
a
we
fun
excited?
Always excited.
I was
We're
going to
always
say.
excited.
Actually, I'm not excited.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ariel hates this. I don't know if you guys
Hates
can
that
tell.
I'm in charge.
She hates that she's sitting in a different spot.
I don't
That
love
too.
it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm
It's fine.
sorry. Well, today we're going to be talking about Mike White. We're going to do a little character
White.
profile on Mike White.
White.
What does anyone know about Mike White?
Fun to
His
say.
name is Mike White.
Yeah.
I assume Mike is short for Michael.
Probably.
I think White is short for Weichel.
Probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
Michael White.
Michael
Michael. You probably know Mike White as Ned Schneebly from
Oh!
School of Rock.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Mike White is an interesting guy.
Yeah.
He was born in 1970, so he's 54 today.
Is his birthday? I'm kidding.
Today he would be 55 today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if he were
Today,
born in
which is
1970,
420, by the way, is Mike White's birthday.
Yeah, so Mike White is interesting guy. Again, you probably know him from School of Rock. He wrote School of Rock. I think he may have directed it too. And he also was Ned Schneebly in School of Rock. He wrote and directed Enlightened, which was a 3-season show on HBO with Lauren Dern. And most people know him from The White Lotus. He's the creator of The White Lotus.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I haven't watched that.
Me
he
neither.
is-
I've heard only good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard people.
Well, we're going to be talking about The White Lotus today and how Mike White's time on reality TV on both Survivor and Amazing Race influenced his creation of White Lotus.
What season of Survivor was he on?
He was on season 37 of Survivor back in 2018. That was the David vs. Goliath season. And then he was on season 14 of Amazing Race. And I think he was on a later season. He was brought back
So
on
he was
Amazing Race
on reality
too.
TV after doing his own thing in the film industry.
Correct.
Wow, cool.
Yep.
Neat.
So Enlightened, School of Rock was like his big
Magnum
smash hit
opus.
back in
Yeah.
that was like 2004,
Something like that.
2005.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Enlightened was like the early 2010s, and like that was a sleeper hit. Like it had like a cult following, but it didn't really like.
I was going to say, I
get
haven't
much
heard
off
of
the
it.
ground.
Yeah.
So I think like mid 2000s through 2010s was like kind of a slump period for him. And you'll hear throughout this episode, he was just a big fan of Amazing Race and Survivor, and he just like wanted to get on those shows, and I think he just had like connections
Yeah.
obviously through the industry, and like it was a slow time for him, so he was like
for
get
him.
me on reality TV.
Yeah, might as well.
And he had some fun. And both of these shows are White Lotus, since you both aren't.
I've seen the first couple
initiated.
episodes of the first season.
Okay,
I've seen none of it.
cool. So essentially White Lotus is, it's at a big resort. It's, you're seeing cool, fun stuff in different parts of the world. And there's usually like antics that ensue. Some
It's
sort
like
of,
wealthy
usually
people at a resort.
wealthy
Gotcha.
people at a resort. Murders
Not a reality TV
occur.
I do know it's not a
Yeah.
reality
Yeah,
TV show.
yeah,
That
I'm
much I
not
do.
sure, yeah.
That's about all I know. Is Jennifer Coolidge in it?
She's in
She's in the
the
first two
season.
seasons.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's the extent of my knowledge.
Yeah.
My-
Aubrey Plaza's in the second season.
Oh,
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
How many seasons are there?
The
Third
third one
just
just
ended.
finished up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
My theory is Mike White took all of his time on The Amazing Race, saw all of these amazing places, and wanted to take more vacations, and then he the relationship dynamics of Survivor influenced the actual story of
Gotcha.
White Lotus.
That makes me
Yeah.
want to go home and watch White Lotus.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. What's White Lotus on?
HBO.
HBO. Okay.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, he was on season 14 of Amazing Race in 2009 with his dad, who was married to his mom and then later came out as gay. Mike White is also bi, which I did not find out until watching his season of Survivor, when they get to like the part where they bring their families on and Mike White's boyfriend came out. That was like kind of a surprise for me.
Hell yeah.
So that was 2018 where he was on Survivor, and then White Lotus comes out the first season of White Lotus comes out in 2021. So he probably had a general idea for White Lotus when he was on Survivor in 2018.
Yeah.
But it
Really like sparked it to a degree.
Yeah.
very much seems like the timeline is showing that
Yeah.
like he probably started the writing of White Lotus like pretty soon after he came off of Survivor. He is friends with Jeff Probst.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that's how we got on.
That's how we got on.
I was actually gonna joke that earlier.
No,
Like he and Jeff Probst are like poker buddies or something.
he is friends. He has said he's friends with Jeff Probst. He's like offered Jeff Probst suggestions. Like he's like a very big watcher
Imagine
of Survivor.
Jeff Probst on White Lotus.
We'll talk about that.
Great.
Not Jeff Probst, but some other cameos. And he eventually got cast on season 37. And he did say in a couple interviews that his time on Survivor has influenced White Lotus.
Yeah.
Him and his dad on season 14, they were eliminated
Of Amazing Race?
Of Amazing Race,
Okay.
yes. They were eliminated in Phuket, Thailand, which is where White Lotus season 3 takes place.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So lots of connections there. So this is Mike talking about in Survivor. This is on season 37, talking about how much he just loves Survivor.
I'm a director, sometimes actor, mostly a writer. I've written like School of Rock and Nacho Libre. I am more successful than I ever thought I would be. But for me, I'm a Survivor obsessive fanatic. Everybody in my business wants the Oscar. It's like, you're losers. Like, I want to win Survivor.
I
like
love
it.
him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just like a silly, goofy little dude.
Yeah, he's
that
like a
just,
silly guy.
wants to play games. Like,
Yeah.
The picture that you showed of him, like, didn't clock Mr. Schneebly, but watching him talk, I was like, oh yeah, that's Mr. Schneebly.
Yeah. I was gonna say, every time you say Mike, I'm like, you mean Ned?
Yeah.
I like him though.
Yeah.
he's a cool dude, and
he wrote Nacho Libre too.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
Right. How'd you leave that one out?
Sorry.
Embarrassing.
The big thing is like School of Rock.
And the Enlightenment or whatever.
Enlightened. Yeah. I mean that again. It's a good show. Laura Dern is great, but it didn't really catch on. So
that's awesome though.
In the first episode of his season, when he like breaks off with his tribe, there are a couple of people that are like, I have seen you before. I know you from something. And they're like, he's like School of Rock. I was Ned Schneebly. Like, he's like, but I'm here. Like I'm here to be on Survivor.
Right.
Like,
I'm not here as a celebrity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He placed second in his season of Survivor.
Oh, spoilers!
Sorry. Sorry, this came out in 2018.
I think the 2-week spoiler grace period.
I will not
placing
spoil.
second's impressive.
White Lotus.
Thank you.
But
thank you.
I'll spoil
Survivor.
Season 37
and the
of
Amazing Race.
Survivor. Sorry.
Placing second's really really impressive,
Totally.
especially as like a relatively like known person.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because Kelson, I don't know if you know, they for the top 3 they vote on them. Like everybody
is it voted off?
Yeah.
As a jury and votes on who wins.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because normally when you're voted off, you can't vote in the things.
You can't vote in any of the eliminations, but then the last 3 they like appeal to people that they've betrayed, and you're like, which of us are you going to vote for? And then they all vote for who wins.
I mean, you gotta vote for Mr. Schneebly.
Right, of course,
But also they think of him as a rich Hollywood type who probably doesn't need the $1 million.
Right.
So for him to actually get some votes
is
impressive.
Yeah.
But like, a show like Survivor came along and you were like, wow, it was showing people, one minute they would be very irritating or very petty. And then the next minute they would be very vulnerable and your heart goes out to them. And then they could be courageous. And I don't know, it was just like, you would see these, because they were people. It was like fully dimensional humans. And even though maybe the format could be formulaic, there was something I just, as a writer, I was like, this is this makes you want to raise your game as far as like when you are creating characters that people are watching, because it felt like they were always surprising, and there wasn't some internal integrity, obviously, but there was also all of these colors. And so I've always wanted to try to write characters that could match, some of the great personalities that you see in reality TV.
So correct me if I'm wrong, White Lotus is somewhat of a character study, right?
Very much. Yeah. It's everybody is at this resort for 5 days.
And you get to know every character.
Correct.
And their relationships.
Exactly. And how they play off of each other. It's it's very much like Survivor. And his season especially, the David versus Goliath, they were initially the tribes were split up between like kind of the haves and the have-nots.
Right.
And that is White Lotus too. Like you get it, mostly the character profiles on the rich, wealthy people who are staying there, but there are some, each season they do go into the lives of the hotel staff, who are very much the have-nots.
Survivor is like a character study.
100%.
Yeah.
It's very, it's pretty one-to-one.
Wild. Never
Again,
made that
like it really does seem like he came off of Survivor in 2018 and just got to work right in White Lotus.
That's awesome.
And then again, his time on Amazing Race, he just saw all of these cool places and was like, I want to go back to those places.
Yeah.
Specifically, Thailand was
was
where he was eliminated, and then that's where season 3 took place. So he also made sure to include cameos from several of his Survivor castmates. So Alec is in season 1. And Alec actually has a fairly large role in season 1. Large, quote unquote.
For
role,
a cameo.
Large for a cameo. He
Large for
shows
a
up.
cameo of somebody from a reality TV
Correct.
show, not
Yeah.
like an actor.
He's like a bartender in the show, and he's a bartender in real life. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cute.
And then Kara and Angelina are hotel guests in season 2. And then Carl and Natalie are hotel guests in season 3.
It's
Cool.
cute.
Yeah.
I like that.
So
It's fun.
It's like a cute little family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's a quick clip of Angelina and Alec talking about their time on White Lotus.
Cool.
Mike was incredible, day 1 to 39, and he's just like the kindest, funniest, most down-to-earth, thoughtful person. And I was lucky enough to get to spend that time stranded with him.
Clue, where's the clue?
I think it's at the treetops.
I grew up watching Survivor. The whole experience was really surreal. I think about it, it's just like a dream now, and I'll never get it back.
Alec and Angelina kept in touch with Mike after they parted ways on Survivor.
I think we have what's called a trauma bond. So
Mike actually drew some inspiration from Survivor to help create the White Lotus, and when he began writing the first season in Hawaii, before anyone knew what the show was, he reached out to Alec to see if he wanted a part.
I was just like, yeah, that sounds cool. I didn't really know what I was getting into.
Alec appeared in 5 of season 1's episodes, playing Hutch, a waiter and a bartender at the White Lotus Maui Resort.
What? Some lady found this on the beach and gave it to me.
I also feel like Mike kind of like knows the roles to put us into. Like he made you a bartender. You've been a bartender. He made us 2 gals on the beach chatting. Not like I haven't been in that situation before.
I do remember him from season 1.
Alec.
Yeah.
Yeah, five episodes is like a substantial
arc.
cameo.
Yeah.
I got the. I mean, Alec was a bartender on Survivor. I got the feeling that he like has always been a bartender trying to be an actor, probably.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, cool that
Yeah.
Mike clearly still stays in touch with everybody
That's
from his
awesome.
season.
Yeah, that is very
And-
cool. He seems like such a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. he
Dream
seems chill.
podcast.
Yeah. Michael White.
Yeah, Michael
Weichel. Yeah, I mean, he is the reality TV and the true crime guy.
Yeah.
Kind of, so,
Yeah. Let's replace Kels with Michael Weichel.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't have the writing credits that he does.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
He's clearly more qualified to be on the podcast than
How
I am.
are you going to compete with Michael Weichel? Yeah.
Ned Schneebly is on the podcast? You kidding me?
that would kill.
I would kill
So that's Mike White,
Yeah.
otherwise known as Ned Schneebly.
Michael Weichel.
Fun.
How do we feel about Mike?
I like him.
Love him.
Yeah, I think he seems cool.
I think he needs to make more TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like he was in a slump for a bit. And,
Yeah.
And Survivor just like
Jump started it.
opened something up. So
Yeah.
I think he's running down this path of of White Lotus until it dies.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, he probably will go back on reality TV, and hopefully something will spark something.
Bachelor.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you want him as a
Golden
contestant
Bachelor?
or as the... Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, did you want him as a contestant or the lead?
Oh,
on The
okay.
Bachelor?
Well, maybe the first ever bisexual
Yeah, right.
lead.
Yeah.
Bicon Mike White.
Mike
So
White, yeah.
Is America ready for that?
Yeah,
Is the
but
real
I'm ready
question.
for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Is ABC ready for it?
And they're not.
Question.
And I can tell you, I'm pretty sure that they're not.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Mike White
Yeah.
would be a great
Yeah, absolutely.
bi-bachelor.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We need like a gay housewives, actually.
And, I mean, look around.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Which city would it be in?
What's the gayest city in America?
Miami?
No.
Miami's pretty gay.
Miami's pretty gay.
Miami's not the gayest city in America.
No, I feel like LA is pretty gay.
Also, yeah.
Yeah.
New York is pretty gay.
Austin's pretty gay.
Austin's pretty gay.
Yeah.
There are gays everywhere.
Thank God. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for this mini-sode. You can find us everywhere at Reality Bombshell. Make sure you set your favorite podcast app to automatic downloads. That definitely helps us out with all of our numbers and such. Thank you so much to Tim Schools for doing our logo and Isaac Tobe for doing our theme music. I've been Kelson.
I'm Ariel.
I'm Ben.
Bombs away.
Reality Bombshell.